What if the only thing standing between you and your first $10,000 is not talent, not connections, not capital, but a single decision you keep refusing to make? What if the people you think are smarter than you are not smarter? They just stopped waiting for permission. Right now, somewhere in the world, someone with less education than you, less money than you, and fewer advantages than you is building something that will generate more money this month than you will make this entire year. And the difference is not luck. It is not timing. It is a formula, a repeatable, boring, unglamorous formula that they execute without hesitation while you are still watching videos about it. I am going to give you that formula today. Every single step. No fluff, no filler, no motivational nonsense, just the blueprint. But I need you to promise yourself one thing right now, that by the end of this, you do not just nod your head, you move. Because information without execution is just expensive entertainment. Let's go. Sell before you build. What if you never needed money to make money? The single most catastrophic lie that keeps broke people broke is the belief that you need a product before you can make a sale. You do not. Every single day, people sell things they have not built yet. Courses, services, software, consulting packages. The market does not reward builders, it rewards sellers who happen to build. Before you spend a single dollar on anything, a logo, a website, a tool, go find one human being who will pay you for the result you promise. One sale. That is it. That is the proof of concept every investor, every founder, and every self-made millionaire starts with. If you cannot get one person to hand you money for your idea does not need more polish. It needs to be thrown out. Validation comes from wallets, not opinions. Your friends saying, "That's a great idea," is worth nothing. A stranger typing in their credit card number is worth everything. Sell first. Build second. That one mental flip will save you months of wasted work and thousands of dollars of wasted investment. The $10K skill stack. What if you are already sitting on a $10,000 skill and you have no idea? Most people dramatically undervalue what they know. They think, if it is easy for me, it must be easy for everyone. That is wrong. The things that feel obvious to you are invisible to thousands of people who desperately need them and will pay to learn them. A $10K skill is not rocket science. It is anything that produces a measurable, desirable result for another human being. Copywriting, video editing, sales, lead generation, bookkeeping, coding, fitness coaching. The market does not care about your degree. It cares about outcomes. Your job is to identify the single most valuable thing you know, the thing that saves people time or makes people money, and package it into an offer so clear that the decision to buy feels stupid to avoid. Stop spreading yourself across 10 skills. Compress. Go deep. One skill, one audience, one result. That combination is your first $10,000 waiting to be unlocked. The offer is everything. What if your product is not the problem? Your offer is. Most people fail, not because their product is bad, but because their offer is forgettable. There is a massive difference between a product and an offer. A product is what you make. An offer is the entire value package you present. The result, the timeline, the risk reversal, and the reason to act now. The most dangerous place to be in business is having a good product wrapped in a weak offer. Nobody buys products. They buy outcomes, confidence, and certainty. Your offer must answer 5 questions without hesitation. What do I get? How fast? What if it does not work? Why you? Why now? If any of those answers are fuzzy, your conversion rate will be catastrophically low. A Grand Slam offer stacks so much value and reduces so much risk that the customer feels almost irrational not buying. That is the target. Not just a decent product, an offer so good people feel stupid saying no. Outreach is oxygen. What if the only reason you have no clients is because not enough people know you exist? Businesses do not die because of bad products. They die because of anemic pipelines. The fastest path to $10,000 is not building a funnel, running ads, or creating content. It is direct, personal, human outreach. Right now, today, you could open your phone, identify 50 people who need what you offer, and send them a message so specific and valuable that they respond. Not a spam blast, not a template. A real personalized message that says, "I see your problem. I have the solution. Here is proof. Let's talk." Most people are too proud or too scared to do this. They want a passive system to bring clients to them before they have earned that luxury. Outreach is the unglamorous, unsexy act that every successful person did before they had a brand. Do 50 per day for 30 days. That is 1,500 conversations. You only need a handful to say yes to hit $10K. The math is not complicated. The execution is just uncomfortable. Deliver so hard. They refer what if your first client is actually worth 10 clients. If you deliver right, the moment someone pays you is not the finish line. It is the starting gun. Most people celebrate the sale and then coast on delivery. That is the fastest way to kill a business before it starts. When you are at $0, your entire marketing budget is your results. Every client you serve is either a billboard or a warning sign. Deliver so far beyond what they expected that they cannot stop talking about you. Underpromise and so dramatically overdeliver that they feel they robbed you. Because a client who feels that way does not just come back, they bring 3 friends. Word of mouth is not luck. It is engineered by the quality of your delivery. Document the transformation. Get testimonials. Ask for referrals directly. Do not hint. Do not hope. Do not wait. Ask. Who else do you know who has this problem? That one question, asked after every successful project, has built more businesses than every social media strategy combined. Compress time, not effort. What if the reason you are not rich is not that you work too little, but that you work on the wrong things? The biggest trap for smart, hardworking people is being busy doing things that do not move the needle. Designing logos, perfecting websites, tweaking copy no one has seen, reading books about business instead of doing business. There are only 3 activities that produce income: creating offers, distributing offers, and delivering on offers. Everything else is a supporting role, important but never primary. Most people reverse this. They spend 90% of their time on the supporting roles and 10% on the money-generating activities. Flip it. Guard your income-producing hours like they are sacred, because they are. Time compression is the real wealth hack. Not working harder, working in a way where every hour you spend produces a disproportionate financial return. When you identify your highest leverage activities and pour your best energy into them relentlessly, $10,000 is not a milestone. It becomes a floor. What if everything you were taught about money was wrong? What if the system was not designed to make you wealthy? It was designed to make you dependent. You went to school. You followed the rules. You worked the jobs they told you to work. And yet here you are still wondering why the money is not coming. Here is the truth nobody wants to say out loud. The traditional path was never a path to wealth. It was a path to employment. And there is a difference. A massive, life-altering difference. The people making real money, the ones building $10K months before they are 30, are not geniuses. They are not trust fund kids. They are people who decided at some specific moment to stop playing by rules written by people who were not rich. They found a formula. They executed it with discipline. And they did not stop when it got uncomfortable. That formula is what you are going to get today. Let us start with the most uncomfortable truth. You do not need money to make money. You need a result someone wants and the courage to ask them to pay for it. Sell before you build. This is not advice. This is law. Every dollar you spend before you have a paying customer is a gamble. Every dollar you collect before you build a single thing is validation. The market is the only judge that matters. Not your family, not your friends, not the comment section. If a stranger, someone with no obligation to support you, hands you money in exchange for your promise of a result, you have a business. If they do not, you have a hobby. Know which one you are building before you spend a single hour on it. Now here is where most people get lost. They have a skill. They know they can help people, but they wrap it in the worst possible offer. Vague, low urgency, low value, and full of risk for the buyer. Let me tell you what an offer really is. An offer is not what you sell. An offer is what they feel when they read your pitch. Do they feel certainty? Do they feel urgency? Do they feel like the risk is on you, not them? Because the moment a buyer feels like they might lose, they stop. The moment they feel like they cannot lose, they buy. Build your offer so that saying no feels more dangerous than saying yes. Stack the value. Remove the risk. Create urgency that is real, not manufactured. Make it a no-brainer. Once your offer is right, the only job you have is to get it in front of as many qualified humans as possible, as fast as possible. Not through some complicated funnel. Not through ads you cannot afford. Through direct, personal, human outreach. 50 messages a day. Specific, relevant, valuable. Not, hey, check out my service. Something that proves you understand their world better than they do. Something that makes them stop scrolling and think, wait, this person actually gets it. That is the message that gets replies. That is the message that turns into calls. That is the call that turns into your first $10,000. And when you get that first client, treat it like your entire business depends on it. Because it does. Deliver so far beyond what they paid for that they feel guilty. Document the result. Make it undeniable. Get them to talk about it. Ask for the referral directly. Who else do you know that has this problem? 3 words that have generated more revenue for more businesses than any ad campaign ever created. Your best clients will come from your best results. Your best results will come from your best delivery. So deliver like your reputation, which at this stage is your only asset, is on the line, because it is. And finally, protect your time like it is the only currency that actually matters, because it is. Every hour you spend on low leverage activities is an hour stolen from the 3 things that actually generate income: creating offers, distributing them, and delivering on them. Cut the rest. Aggressively, unapologetically. The people who go from $0 to $10K fastest are not the most talented. They are the most focused. They do the uncomfortable things first. They talk to customers before they touch their website. They close deals before they worry about their logo. They are embarrassingly bad at the wrong things because they are exceptionally committed to being great at the right ones. This is not complicated. It is hard, but it is not complicated. And the gap between hard and complicated is where most people give up. They confuse difficulty with complexity and use complexity as an excuse to avoid difficulty. Do not be that person. The formula is simple. Execute the formula. Get your first yes. Deliver your best work. Get the referral. Repeat. Scale. That is $10K. That is $100K. That is everything after. Here is what you just learned, condensed into what actually matters. You do not need more information. You need more execution. You do not need a perfect product. You need a validated offer. You do not need a massive audience. You need 50 conversations. You do not need a brand. You need one undeniable result that someone paid for. The path from $0 to $10K is not mysterious. It is a series of uncomfortable actions done consistently by someone who refused to let fear masquerade as strategy. Sell before you build. Stack the offer until it is impossible to ignore. Reach out until your fingers are tired. Deliver until your clients are evangelists. And guard every hour of your time like it is your most valuable asset, because it is. Do these things in this order without stopping. And $10,000 is not a goal. It is an inevitability. The only question is how long you are willing to wait before you start. The answer should be not one more second.